Hi viewers, today we will discuss the new topic, theories of public administration. So we will just start from this. The first one is the classical theory of public administration. So what is this classical theory? Okay, it is one of the earliest approaches, theory to understanding and organizing public administration. So this is a very old theory. It was used from the beginning, at the start of the public administration. So when the public administration term was started, so that time this theory was developed and it was used by the political scientists and public administration scientists. Rooted in the late 19th and early 20th century, this theory focused on efficiency, hierarchy, and structure and administrative system. So basically, it believe in three things. Number one is hierarchy, like a top management and low management and down level management, and responsible, accountable by the employee to his superior and boss. So in structure, there is some structure like HR department, marketing department, and finance department, etc. according to the situation condition of the different organization, and also the efficiency to increase the working output of the organizations. मतलब ये ہے کہ یہ جو क्लासिकल थ्योरी है, ठीक है, इसमें तीन थ्योरी शामिल है. एक एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव थ्योरी है, दूसरा उसमें सिस्टमेटिक थ्योरी है, तीसरा उसमें है ब्यूरोक्रेटिक थ्योरी. ये तीन थ्योरी है, ये इस क्लासिकल थ्योरी का हिस्सा है. लेकिन हम क्लासिकल थ्योरी को पढ़ेंगे कि क्या चीज़ है. तो ये जो है ना, सबसे जो बिगिनिंग में स्टार्ट में ये जो सबसे थ्योरी डेवलप हुई वो यही थी, क्लासिकल थ्योरी थी. ये तीन थ्योरी इसमें शामिल है. ये तीन ब्रांचेस इसमें शामिल है, सिस्टमेटिक, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव थ्योरी एंड दिस ब्यूरोक्रेटिक थ्योरी. तो हम इसको मज़ीद डिस्कस करेंगे लेकिन बाद में. तो ये लेट 90s में और जबकि अर्ली 20 सेंचुरी में इसका वो इस्तेमाल शुरू हो गया. दिस थ्योरी फोकस ऑन एफिशिएंसी, ये सिर्फ जो है ना, ये कारकर्दगी आउटपुट पर बिलीव करती है. हायरार्की, जो हायरार्की होती है, मतलब जो टॉप लेवल की होती है मैनेजमेंट, फिर वो जो लोअर लेवल मैनेजमेंट, उनके दरमियान जो आपस में होता है एक रिलेशनशिप होता है कि बॉस आपको कहते कभी ये काम कर दो, और जो नीचे वाला होता है एक मुलाजिम, वो अपना काम करता है, उस पर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करता है उसके हुक्म पर. इन स्ट्रक्चर इन द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सिस्टम, कुछ मतलब स्ट्रक्चर होते हैं, ठीक है, कुछ रोल होते हैं, कुछ डिपार्टमेंट होते हैं जिसके मतलब अपने अपने रूल होते हैं, अपने अपने रूल रेगुलेशन, कुछ वैल्यूज़ होते हैं जिसको फॉलो करना पड़ता है. कुछ मतलब अकाउंट डिपार्टमेंट है, उसका जो HR डिपार्टमेंट है वो तो अलग है. इस तरह HR डिपार्टमेंट का भी अपना रूल रेगुलेशन, कुछ स्ट्रक्चर है, कुछ रोल है. तो ये सब जो है ना, ये मार्केटिंग वगैरह, ये सब जो है ना, ये स्ट्रक्चर है, ठीक है. उसमें अंदर मतलब कुछ रोल होते हैं, मतलब जो मैनेजमेंट लेवल की जो होता है, टॉप मैनेजमेंट होता है, लोअर मैनेजमेंट होता है, जबकि मिडिल मैनेजमेंट, ये सब जो है ना, ये फिर उसमें नीचे पे आता है ये लाइन जो होता है ना, ये लाइन मैनेजर, ये भी ना एक रोल है, जो मतलब वो सुपरवाइज़र जिसे बोलते हैं, ये भी एक रोल है. तो ये इसमें ये स्ट्रक्चर और रोल का किरदार अदा करते हैं. एंड लेट्स ड्रॉ हेवीली फ्रॉम मैनेजमेंट इन ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल थ्योरी. जो इसका सबसे जो बड़ा हिस्सा, जो बड़ा कंपोनेंट्स है इस एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव थ्योरी का, ये जो क्लासिकल थ्योरी का सबसे जो बड़ा हिस्सा है कंपोनेंट्स है, वो मैनेजमेंट और ये जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होती है किसी कंपनी के अंदर, ये जो उसमें कुछ स्ट्रक्चर होता है, रोल होता है, और ये जो इंटरेक्शन होती है, इसमें कुछ रूल रेगुलेशन होती है, ये सब उनसे अख़ज़ किया गया है. और ये ज़्यादातर जो है ना, ये कुछ आइडिया जो लिया है, ये प्राइवेट सेक्टर से लिया गया है. Now we will discuss the core principle of classical theory. Classical theory की जो कुछ principle है वो क्या क्या है. Number one is hierarchy. Clear chain of commands. Every employee know who they report to. उसमें क्या होता है कि एक हायरार्की होती है, टॉप लेवल से लेके नीचे लेवल तक. हर बंदा अपने वो सुपरवाइज़र तक उसको जवाबदेह होता है, अकाउंटेबल होता है, उसको रिपोर्ट करता है. डिवीजन ऑफ लेबर, इसमें क्या होती है कि मतलब स्पेशलाइजेशन होती है. लीड टू इंक्रीज एफिशिएंसी, मतलब हर उसको मुख्तलिफ महकमे में, वो डिपार्टमेंट में उसको तकसीम किया जाता है हर हम काम को, और उसके लिए अलग अलग मतलब लोग होते हैं, मतलब वो स्पेशलिस्ट लोग होते हैं. कुछ मैकेनिक होते हैं, ठीक है, कुछ इलेक्ट्रिकल लोग होते हैं. तो ये मुख्तलिफ डिपार्टमेंट में उसको, कुछ मार्केटिंग डिपार्टमेंट के लोग होते हैं, कुछ HR डिपार्टमेंट में होते हैं. तो ये इसे क्या कहते हैं, इसे डिवीजन ऑफ लेबर कहते हैं, यानी काम की तकसीम की गई है, ताकि ना वो इसमें ना एक ख़ास वो एक स्पेशलाइजेशन आए. जो मतलब किसी चीज़ का वो बंदा वो एक्सपर्ट है, उसी को उसी काम सौंपा जाता है. ऐसा नहीं कि एक कार मैकेनिक को ना वो एक इलेक्ट्रिकल का शोबा दिया जाता है, बल्कि जो कार मैकेनिक है उसको सिर्फ कार ठीक करने का वही वो महकमा या काम दिया जाता है. اوکے تو یونٹی آف کمانڈ تو کیا ہوتی ہے کہ یونٹی آف کمانڈ ہوتی ہے. ایچ ورکر شوڈ رپورٹ ٹو ون سپروائزر. مطلب ایک سپروائزر ایک ہی مینیجر کو ہر بندے نے مطلب امپلائی نے اس کو رپورٹ کرنا ہوتا ہے. پھر اگلا ہے اسپین آف کنٹرول. یہ کیا ہوتا ہے کہ مینیجر کین اونلی افیکٹولی اوور سی لمیٹڈ نمبر آف سبارڈینیٹ. جتنے اس ایک مینیجر کے اندر کے ماتحت جو جتنی کم تعداد میں لوگ کام کریں گے اتنا ہی وہ اس کو زیادہ اچھی طریقے سے اس کو مینیج کر پائے گا, اس کو مانیٹر کر پائے گا, اس کو کنٹرول کر پائے گا. اگر زیادہ تعداد میں لوگ کام کریں گے, ملازمین کام کریں گے, تو کسی سپروائزر کو اس کو مینیج کرنا بڑا مشکل ہو جاتا ہے. اس لہٰذا ہم اس کو اسپین آف کنٹرول کہتے ہیں. اس کی دو قسم ہے, ایک ہوتا ہے وائڈ, دوسرے کو بولتے ہیں نیرو. تو تیسرا ہے فارمل رول اینڈ پروسیجر. اس میں کچھ فارمل رول اینڈ پروسیجر ہوتی ہے, ٹھیک ہے, کہ جس کے تحت مطلب وہ آپریشن اور ڈیسیشن میکنگ یہ ہوئی نا وہ مطلب پروسیس وہ ہوتا ہے جس سے نا ایک ڈیسیشن وہ لیا جاتا ہے ایک آرگنائزیشن کے اندر. ایم پرسنالٹی. اس میں کیا ہوتا ہے کہ ڈیسیشن آر بیسڈ آن آبجیکٹیوٹی کرائٹیریا اینڈ ناٹ آن پرسنل ریلیشنشپ. اس میں کیا ہوتا ہے کہ جو ڈیسیشن لیا جاتا ہے وہ ہمیشہ میرٹ پر لیے جاتے ہیں, ٹھیک ہے, کوئی پرسنل ریلیشن شپ کسی تعلق پہ وہ نہیں کیا جاتا ہے. جو چیز ایک آرگنائزیشن کے لیے اچھی ہے, ویلیو کے لیے اچھی ہے, اس کو ویلیو کو مطلب وہ انکریز کرتی ہے, وہی وہ ڈیسیشن فیصلہ لیا جاتا ہے. اوکے تو کلاسیکل کو مزید ہم ایکسپلین کرتے ہیں کہ یہ لیٹ 90s ارلی 20 میں یہ چیز ڈیولپ ہو گئی, یہ تھیوری ڈیولپ ہو گئی, driven by desire to make government more efficient and rational and less susceptible to political interference. It sought to apply scientific principles to study and practice administration and treating as a distinct field separate from politics. So the basic thing was just to keep this administration of a public servant from interference of the politician, of the MNAs, of the parliamentarian, etc., and make it far away from politics by intelligent into parties by the administrator of the country politics. So here's the breakdown of its background and key history. So now we will discuss its background and the key histories that where it was developed. چنانچہ اس کا ایک مقصد یہ تھا کہ جو پالیٹکس ہے اس کو, جو بیوروکریسی سے, جو ایڈمنسٹریشن سسٹم سے, اس سے دور کیسے کیا جائے گا, اس کو کیسے وہ سپریٹ کیا جا سکے. چنانچہ اس میں کچھ انہوں نے کوششیں کی, جو سائنٹسٹ ہے جو اس کے مطلب موومنٹ کے آگے وہ چلانے والے تھے, انہوں نے کچھ آئیڈیا پیش کی, جس کی وجہ سے اس کا یہ مقصد یہ تھا کہ جو گورنمنٹ ہے, جو ایڈمنسٹریشن سسٹم ہے, وہ ایک اچھی طریقے سے, ایک فعال طریقے سے جو لوگوں کو ہے نا وہ ایک سروسز وہ فراہم کر سکے, اور یہ جو بیوروکریسی ہے وہ ایک اچھے طریقے سے وہ اپنا فنکشن وہ کر سکے. ایسا نہیں ہے کہ صرف اپنا وہ جو پولیٹیشین ہے وہ اس کو کچھ کہہ دے تو بس وہی اس پہ وہ عمل پیرا ہو جائے, بلکہ ایسا نہیں تھا. اس کا یہ مقصد تھا کہ جو پولیٹیشین ہے اس کو ایڈمنسٹریٹو سسٹم پر اثر انداز ہونے سے دور رکھا جا سکے, اور کیسے کیا جا سکے اس کے لیے انہوں نے کچھ کوشش کی. تو اس کا بیک گراؤنڈ ہم پڑھیں گے اس کے لیے, ٹھیک ہے. اوکے, so now we will discuss the classical theory public administration background. So the first was industrial revolution. We will discuss the rapid industrialization and growth of the large organization in the private sector inspired thinkers to apply similar principle of efficiency and standardization to the government. So when the industrialization period was started and there was a large growth of organization emerging in the private sector, in contrast to government sector, so it inspired many thinkers. So how these very well established principles of efficiency, standardization should be also employed in the government, so that the government should run like a private sector, which are run very smoothly and very effectively and function very well. So and also increase the output of the organization. So that was to also increase the output of the government sector in efficiency and standardization of the government sector, also just to provide the service to the people only when these things from the private sector are taken and employed inside the government sector. So that was the reason of so that was the industrial revolution that led toward this approach. So another background was the progressive era in the United States of America. In the United States, the US, the progressive era, late 90s and early 20th century, saw a strong movement for the good government or governance aiming to combat corruption inefficiency in the public services. So these movements just were prevalent in this society of the United States of America, for the strong movement, for the strong good governance to combat corruption, because too much corruption there was there. And also to just reduce the inefficiency in the public services. This provide a fertile ground for the theorists to advocate for a more professional, systematic approach to administration. So that was the reason that this was the environment behind that led the thinker to develop such a professional and systematic approach for the public the government administrative system, because the private sector was very flourishing, because it has developed such tools and rule regulation policies, approaches, structure and role that also inspire the thinker should be employed same in this the government sector also. So another cause was this the influence of scientific management system. Frederick W. Taylor scientific management theory he just developed that time, which focus on optimizing work process, maximizing efficiency and industrial setting of that time, heavily influenced the classical theories of public administration. The idea was to find one best way to perform administrative tasks. So basically, they also want to the administrative system, the government sector employees should perform very well and to the best of their ability. And very well they should perform and also optimize the work process and maximizing efficiency. So they were just inspired from this scientific management theory of Frederick Taylor. So that's why that led toward this the betterment of these tools into the administrative system of the government by the classical theorist. So another background was the politics administration dichotomy, the separation of politics from the administrative system. So basically, this idea was developed by Mr. Woodrow Wilson, the former ex-president of Pakistan, of the United States of America. He just developed this system that the politics should be separated from the administrative system of the government. So the core idea was separation of politics from the administration system. Proponents argue that elected officials should set policy, but administrators should execute those policy in the neutral objective in efficient manner free from political influences. So those who just advocate this theory, they say that the administrative are just only to implement those policy in a neutral way with objectivity and efficient manner, which are passed in the parliament by the politicians. So the politics role should be separated from this administrative system of the government. So another background was the rise of the large-scale organization. As a result of the government grew in sizes and complexity, there was the increasing need for the systematic approaches to manage the vast operation of services and personnel. So with a large scale government size, the large scale of the organization, the government size increased. That's why the complexity also occurred, because the government become very complex. So to handle their staff in their operation system, in their services, in the personnel, etc. So it needs a very systematic approach in tools, rules, regulation to just systematically take a holistic approach to study these operation and services personnel, so that the work should be done very properly and smoothly without any hindrance, any obstacle. Because it was very complex situation. So to solve these things by ordinary methods, it was not possible. It was impossible. That's why there was a need for the special system, tools, systematic approach that cover all system of the government, because of the large system was emerged because of this complexity of the large scale organization. That's why they need a systematic approach. So that was the reason to work smoothly and effectively, provide services and control the personnel and operation system work smoothly, effectively in efficient way. That's why they need such a system in the government sector, tools, regulation, structures which should increase the efficiency of the government. So that was the reason these all like industrial revolution, corruption in society, in the government sector, in scientific management system, in these rise of large scale organization system, in some tourist thinker, they also just started these tool technique, like a scientific systematic or holistic approach to just manage these vast and extensive operation services, which was not possible without this system. So, key founder contributor of this classical theory are, while no single individual is solely considered the founder, several influential figures, thinker, laid the groundwork and shaped the classical theory of public administration. Not a single person was responsible for the development of this theory, but it was a several person who just influenced in make ground for this theory. So now we will discuss step by step that who just influenced and make this ground for this classical theory. Okay, let's go. So the first person who developed this theory, who made contribution for the ground making for this theory, was Woodrow Wilson, the ex-president of the United States of America, often considered the father of the public administration, as a distinct field of study. His seminal essay, The Study of Administration, 1887, argued for the need to separate the administration from the politics and study it scientifically. He believed that administration was the detailed and systematic execution of the public law and should focus on the efficiency and economy and should be separated from the politics and the political system. So he was the one who just make a strong contribution by because he was called the father of public administration, and he just write the essay in the form of the Study of Administration, 1887, who argued that it should be separate from the politics and should be studied scientifically because it's a vast and comprehensive system. It's required a scientific approach, not like just like normal classical historical approach, like a normal approach. So it should be studied by scientifically and systematically. So another person thinker was Max Weber, a German sociologist. His work on bureaucracy is foundational to classical public administration. He also make study work on bureaucracy, which is the foundation to the classical public administration. While he did not specifically write about the public administration, his ideal type bureaucracy provided theoretical model for efficient, rational, and personal organization structure. He was not administrative theorist, but he was a sociologist. But he just make a right essay on this bureaucracy, which make the system demand rational and efficient and impersonal. Should not be based on the personal. It should be impersonal, impartial organization. So the key structure characteristics of the bureaucratic system defined by Max Weber was the hierarchy of the authority, division of the labor and specialization, and formal rule regulation, impersonality, and technical competence and merit-based selection of the employees. So Henri Fayol, a French mining engineer, has developed administrative management principles. Has 14 principles of management, including division of work, authority, responsibility, unity of command, scalar chain, etc. Provided comprehensive framework for the organization structure and management, which was widely adopted in the public administration. He emphasized that administration was a universal process applicable to both public and private organizations. He was a mining engineer from the belonged from the France. He just developed this administrative management system. He gave just 14 principles of the management. So he said that both public and private sector organization are same. So they should be treated like the same and the same principle. So all the private sector principal structure are also employed in the applicable in this government sector organization. So these thinker develop and establish a framework in ground foundation for the administration or the public administration system of the society. Okay, so Luther Gulick and Landel Arvik, these two were instrumental in synthesizing and popularizing the classical principle in public administration. These two have synthesized, remixing from the other theories and merge into one in this the classical theory and the public administration. They 85 volume paper on the science of administration 1937 codified main code tenets. So Golek is particularly known for the acronym POST core planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting, and budgeting, which outline the key function of the executive. Arvik also contributed principles related to the span of the control, delegations, and coordination. So these two also have contribute a lot of things in this public administration, like delegation, coordination, span of the control, etc., and also the planning, organization, stopping, directing, coordinating, reporting, and budgeting, etc. So these the philosopher, the developer who just make a contribution in the field of public administration. Now we will discuss the classical theory spring. It introduced scientific, systematic structure to the administration, emphasized efficiency and clear role and structure, and provided foundational principles still used in the modern organization. So these are the benefits, the merits of this theory. Now we will discuss the demerits of this theory. So now see the critic of this classical theory. Too rigid and mechanist, ignore human and social aspect. Number two, lacks flexibility and dynamics in complex environment. Or emphasize hierarchy and control system. Doesn't account for informal organization or individual motivation. So these are the defects and demerits of this system of the classical theory.